A very good morning to the Saturday of the edition of the Saturday Show. I'm Carl Levy, your host. Welcome to another weekend of some Saturday energy dose. Ahead of the football weekend, we will discuss all the topics that's happened in the last couple of days, including the return of the Champions League of all the games in the first match day as well. We'll talk about Arsenal's win in Bilbao. Also, Liverpool getting a late win against Atletico Madrid. Man City thumping Napoli after Kevin De Bruyne come back to his former club, as well as Spurs, play Villarreal, and also look at the other games as well too, with the holders PSG thrashing Atalanta over this week as well. We'll also talk about the Merseyside Derby coming up shortly, which will get the team news in the next within the next half an hour or so. And we'll talk about all the other stories as well, including this past week as well, some key games, including Man United's game against Chelsea. Ruben Amorim is under pressure after he had talks with Jim Ratcliffe, who has supported him to back him to remain in the post for the time being. So let's get on with the fixtures for today. Let's start off. It's a 12:30 kickoff at the Merseyside Derby between Liverpool against Everton. Tottenham go away to Brighton at 3 o'clock. Burnley at home against Nottingham Forest in Ange Postecoglou's second game as the new Forest manager. West Ham are under pressure. If Graham Potter loses today, will he be out of the job at home against Crystal Palace? Leeds a bit under pressure. They go away to winless Wolves. Man United at home to Chelsea at 5:30, and Fulham against Brentford, which is the Northern London derby, at 8 o'clock later on today. And in the Championship, we did have one game last night, which between Middlesbrough and West Brom. Middlesbrough won 2-1, which will more be talked about tomorrow night in the Championship review. So we've got three 12:30 kickoff games between Birmingham against Swansea, Leicester at home to Coventry, Derby, and it's going to the game. QPR against Stoke. Key games as well. Norwich at home to Wrexham. Sheffield Wednesday go to Portsmouth, and it's Chris Wilder's first game back in his third spell as Sheffield United manager. They're at home to Charlton. Only one game in the Scottish Premiership. Livingston away to Dundee today. A couple of games also in League One. Huddersfield now at home to Burton Albion. We'll see other teams with leagues here. Leighton Orient away to Reading. Doncaster against Wimbledon. Bradford go away to Cardiff. That's going to be another big game at 3 o'clock today as well. And also Mike Dawes, who was sacked early this week as Wigan manager, there at home to Northampton. And in League Two, a couple of games on the spin as well. Barrow at home to Crewe. Embry gets Aquitaine, and we see here that Salford gets Swindon, Walsall gets Tranmere, and also in the National League, Carlisle go to Altrincham. Halifax go to Gateshead. I'll just get some key fixtures on that one, not just to put a lot on it. Let's see in Scottish League 2, Spartans at home to Stirling Albion later today at Aisley Park, across the road for myself. Edinburgh away to Clyde later today as well. In the Scottish League Cup, two huge games. Motherwell go away to Aberdeen, and Rangers at home to hit Hibs later at 5:45 later on tonight as well. And also looking in the European leagues as well too, which we'll get down to. Real Madrid at home to Espanyol later at 3:15. Valencia at home to Athletic Bilbao at 8 o'clock. In the Bundesliga, Hoffenheim at home to Bayern Munich. Leipzig against Cologne as well. And in Serie A, Juventus go to Verona. AC Milan head away to Udinese as well. And in League 1, we got Lille go away to Lens later on 8 o'clock tonight. And then for tomorrow's games, only no Monday Night Football games tomorrow night. 3 games in the Premier League as well. Bournemouth at home to Newcastle. Sunday at home against Aston Villa. And it's a big game tomorrow at 4:30 between Arsenal against Manchester City. And then one game in the Championship, Bristol City against Oxford. And in the Scottish Cup, it's the Scottish League Cup quarterfinals, Partick Thistle got a big game at home against Celtic tomorrow as well. And in La Liga, Barcelona at home to Getafe at 8 o'clock. Atletico Madrid, they go away to Mallorca at 3:15. In the German Bundesliga, Frankfurt home to Union Berlin. Leverkusen, Bayer Leverkusen at home to Borussia Mönchengladbach. And then it's Dortmund against Wolfsburg in the in the 6:30 kickoff, and it's the Rome derby as well. It is Lazio against Roma tomorrow at 11:30, and then later on the games as well. Como go with Fiorentina, Atalanta, who had a big defeat at Frankfurt at PSG. Sorry, they're away to Torino, and Inter at home to Sassuolo tomorrow as well, and in League Earn as well is Paris FC against Strasbourg. PSG go away to Marseille tomorrow at 7:45 as well. So that's another big game as well. And also, there is no Monday Night Football in the Premier League. There's only one game in the Championship, which is only Millwall against Watford, and the Serie A Napoli at home to Pisa in its Serie A as well. And that's all the games is to it. And then we'll discuss more about the Scottish, the upcoming midweek games in the Scottish Premiership. Aberdeen go away to Tannadice to face Dundee United. They folk at home to Hibs. And then we've got the Scottish League Cup in the third round. Chelsea go away to Lincoln, which is another key game as well. All Premier League action between Wolves against Everton. Liverpool home to Southampton, which is live on ITV1 as well. And Wrexham at home to Reading as well too. And also Wednesday night, we got the third round. Man City go away to the Acco Stadium to face Huddersfield. Newcastle home to Bradford. Spurs against Doncaster, and Port Vale against Arsenal. And then in the Europa League stages, Celtic away to Red Star Belgrade, which is another huge game as well. And then also looking here on Thursday night, Aston Villa home to Bologna at 8 o'clock. Rangers against Genk as well. So yeah, we've got some huge games across the board this week as well. Let's go into some messages as well. I'll say good morning to Michael. Yeah, good morning, Michael. Hope you're well. Good morning to Chris. Chris, yes, we're all well too. Chris, you heard you're going away to Altrincham. Heavy rain expected after midday. Hopefully you stay safe. Hopefully the game goes on. You have a good game as well. Yeah, now it's a lot lower for swimming and hiking. Yeah, very much so with that weather. That's happening in Altrincham as well. Niall's asking me this. Oh, who do you think will win the League Cup game, Aberdeen or Motherwell? That's a good question. I think Aberdeen's had a bit of a poor start, a little bit of a difficult start this start of the season. Listen, you can't go against Motherwell, who against Motherwell at the moment actually, because looking in the Scottish Premiership, they have had a decent start as well. When yes, they've had a mixed start. They've drawn 5 games, but Aberdeen at the bottom of the table is a bit of a huge worry. I would back Motherwell at this moment as well, and I also will back Hibs to beat Rangers. I think Russell Martin's just really be struggling as well. So I think that could be an instinct today of that results as well too. And he's top of the morning. See good morning to Doug. Doug's is into these blue trophy dodging bastards. Yeah, it's a big game. It's a big game for the Merseyside Derby. Doug is looking forward to it. You can watch his if you got time to watch his match preview on his channel, on the Dugout Football channel, on about his match preview for Liverpool against Everton. So we'll bring the team news shortly as well. So let's discuss the Merseyside Derby. What a game it is today. That is a big game today as well. Liverpool against Everton is to get this out of the way. First start to this season. Look, these two teams have had a good start. Liverpool being unbeaten in 4 wins at the moment. So Everton, in 6th place with after the loss in the opening against Leeds, but they have had a good start as well. It's not surprising how these two teams are coming in probably good form at the moment. How things are, and I think maybe if you look at the situation, maybe if going to this game, these two teams are probably it's gonna be a close game. I would say. I think you know, we know Liverpool, Everton's yet to win at Anfield in front of a crowd in the 21st century. The only time they did win was during the COVID pandemic, when there was no crowd as all in 2021 against under Carlo Ancelotti. But David Moyes has failed in all his 22 attempts, with a number close to win a game at Anfield. So this is actually a very good start, and we expect Alexander Isak to make his debut in the start of this game as well. But it's interesting. We'll talk about the Champions League later on in a bit. But you do worry about Liverpool's vulnerability with their form, when they've really not. They've only really kept a clean sheet pretty much in the games against Burnley and also against Arsenal as well. So it's a bit of a tough one, but I think there will be goals in this game. I can't from both sides. I can't see it's going to be a one-way street for Liverpool. I just don't see it happening, you know. So I think David Moyes could use that to advantage. But like I said, it's a huge task. It's a huge task completely today as well. So I think it's going to be a very close game. I think both teams come in a good start. Usually it will be Liverpool good start, and then Everton isn't in the history, but it has been a good start as well. So it's a question of when will be the first goal come in, but we don't know. So like I said, we'll keep an eye on the team news in the next 20 minutes or so. We'll get that from Anfield as well. So yeah, it's a huge week. It's a huge week. It's a huge week game today for both these sides. So and I think Doug will be excited about this as well, going against his rivals today, which is like I said, it's a huge game, and I would surprise as well. So let's go to the messaging and see what they have come in as well. And I'll get some messages coming up, see what everyone's saying. Yeah, well, like I said, I didn't expect, you know, I hope you've done quite well at what's going on at Cal. I what seen Cal as much, Chris. So you have to tell me what's been going on, how their season started as well, especially because next month it's non-league day. So if you're free to join me on the show on non-league day, we can discuss about Carlisle and stuff as well. And yeah, Niall said, "Come on, Moro, let's get back to Hampton as well." Yeah, Doug's thinking Moro will sneak Aberdeen by 1-0. Christopher, does Liverpool need to start playing DJ Khaled? Khaled, all I do is win music. Surely today the late winning streak ends. Yeah, pretty much as well. I'll take that, Doug. Probably another driver thing that we'll sneak today. Chris said Burnley and Arsenal games we were tested. We were tested. How ironic as well. I wouldn't start Isaac Percy. No, we know Tascosi's antics. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's going to be a good point about that, especially what Tascosi's antics can be as well So now said Mugabe is a cracker player. Chris, how's Luke Armstrong been playing? We had him alone last season when we scored Abbott, so we beat Rangers under Michael Vimmer as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I got a question for me as well. Michael, listen, I don't. It's hard to say. It's still early in the season about why how Sunday do so much better. It's still still way too early. Relegation and titles don't win pretty much at the start of the season. So I just think, look, Burnley was very unlucky not to get a draw against Liverpool. They were very unlucky, coming to the penalty, late penalty on Sunday. I think the reason why Sunderland's done much is, you have that experience. You got that experience in midfield with the young, and to quite honestly, a lot of Crystal Palace fans said, Chris, fair play to Sunderland. They were the bit of the better team. They really did well to get clean sheet. They had chances in the game. So, to quite honest, yeah, I do not. I listen because Sunderland made a lot of signings, so has Leeds. But the problem is with Leeds and Burnley, which you need to understand, Michael, is, and I did say this on Monday night with Doug, and also with Dan and Rich, is Leeds and Burnley are probably not the most clinical teams, probably out of the three teams at this moment. And I think that's a huge, bit of a huge issue with that one. I think they're just not clinical enough at this moment in time, especially Burnley have got strikers. We have a bit of a small pool of strikers that play up front, and the way we conceded that goal on Saturday against Fulham, it was baffling as well. So I don't know. It's still early to say. It really is. But as I said, we've got to take it stride. Each comes at the moment and just see how it goes as well. You know, like I said, we'll go looking over and this is what Chris said. Oh, Carlisle did draw back to back seasons we should be beating. We lost the way to pull something apart from that. I saw us start only 1 point off top. Yeah, I want to try to keep an eye on actually Chris a little bit more anyway, especially with Carlisle down there with like Hartlepool and Rochdale. So I'll need to keep an eye on that as well. So Sunderland now says Sunderland has surprised people. I did say the three will get promoted still to the team who surprised right now is Sunderland. Yeah, well, there's a good point as well. Sunderland has surprised a lot of people with their good start, beating West Ham, even the lot, in the loss to the lost to Burnley, but they got a good draw against Crystal Palace and win against with Brentford. So to quite honest, they're going against Aston Villa, who are still not scored at home yet, scored at all yet. So it's a bit of a worry that one. And Chris said, I think I expect Carlisle to win the National League comfortably in the end. I still think they're on their levels of both as well. Chris, who is probably your closest challengers for Carlisle to win the National League this season? I would like to know that if that's give your opinion on it as well. Paul, good. Yeah, how you doing? I'm okay, not too bad. Listen, listen. I understand what you're saying. I just think Villa are still struggling to wake up at the moment with the not, you know. Listen, it's okay to get in that mindset. In that try to get out of that mindset. It's okay. It's normal. It's still early this season. Listen, we're only 5 games in. I still think give it another 5 to 10 games at least. That will be a thing as well. And also, it's funny how Mark has been called dinosaur, but he plays exciting football with us as well. So, yeah, it is going to be an interesting weekend completely with that one. As with all the games said, we just hopefully will get a guest in shortly. Hopefully, he's ready to go at the moment. So, I'll say good morning to Reese. Reese, good morning.
Morning, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. How's your week been, and especially with no Champions League for your club, but it's a huge game today against Chelsea.
It certainly is. Not been too bad actually. Been playing a little bit of that new FC 26.
I haven't played it yet, so I've ordered it yet. I will be getting it at some point. Don't worry, I will need to get involved. But yeah, let's talk about Ruben Amorim. Yesterday this week
Mm-hmm.
there was. I know Sir Jim Ratcliffe have come in this week, after a club, and he flew into Carrington training ground on Thursday. It was a pre-plan rather than a sort of emergency somewhere. He still backs still backs Amarin, and Ruben
Yes.
Amarin even came out with some weird quotes saying that even the Pope couldn't make me change tactics. Is he really that stubborn to make that tactics? And especially he's got that approval from Radcliffe that he's remaining in post. Do you still worry about he still get the sack? What happened to Ten Hag last season?
Excellent question. Yes, I do. I don't think he is. We've all seen it before. It's the untenable sentence line that you always get, or the manager's got the backing of Doomy. I don't think he's gonna last unless he does what he's been asked to do. He's been asked to not completely change who he is, but he's been asked to tweak things because they still have faith in him, and I think he can do the job if he changes to a back four.
Yeah, it's a huge one. If you change to the back four, has he even ever played in the back four? Not at the clubs that he's managed, or is it always been the 3-4-3 formation that has been his blueprint?
I think he's only ever been a 3-4 manager, but as a player, he's played in a back four.
That is a bit worrying as well, actually, with that as well. Actually, Doug sent me some team news for Liverpool. We've seen this starting 11. Alice is in goal with the back four of Bradley Konate, Van Dijk, and Kerkeres in the back four. Gavin Birch, Soboslai, and McAllister in the midfield three, and it's Gakpo, Atike, Salah. So, which means that Isak is on the bench of his Premier League debut for Liverpool against Everton today. And for Everton, so Pickford is in goal with O'Brien, King, Kosti, and Malialenko. Garner, and Dyer in the midfield three, and it's Jude Hall, Grealish, and Better up front. So we just got the team used there for Liverpool and Everton shortly as well.
Decent
So
lineup.
yeah, it's a decent lineup from Everton, as well as I think Liverpool as well. Verts is on the bench, so which is not surprising. So yeah, he's going. So it's going to be interesting. Verts is on the bench, and also know Isak starting the lineup as well, so they are on the bench for ahead of the 12:30 kickoff as well. So, but going back to Amarin completely, and you just take your time to set camera. Going back to Amarin completely,
Huge.
with the situation as well, is this a must win game today against Chelsea if they can try to get a performance and a result today?
Yes, it's must win in general. Well, every game now for him is must win. There's no excuse, and I think he's got to. If he cares about his job, then he needs to do what he's being asked. If he doesn't, he won't last at all. Like I don't think he'll last if he doesn't do it. Let me just take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, boxing because the mother's on night shift. That's why I'm on my phone. I don't want to because obviously my room is right next to hers.
Yeah.
And I do not want to wake her at all.
I know the feeling when I used to work a night shifts, mate. So I know that feeling.
Oh, it's horrible. Tell you what, I'll mute this because I've got one of those like the puller things you can put in the back of your phone.
Yes.
I go by them for a stand, so I'm going to change it because this phone case is utter crap. I'll be 2 minutes.
No worries. We'll see you back shortly on here, so don't worry. Yeah, so pretty much he's a must-win game for Aaron for all performance now, especially when you get knocked out by Grimsby. You've only had one win. You got humiliated against Man City on Sunday. In Donnarumma's debut as well. It just shows so much issues on there as well. As I said, the game against Chelsea today with Chelsea, had a disappointed bit of a disappointing weekend. We'll talk about the Champions League shortly coming up, but losing Bayern Munich 3-1 as well. And like I said, there's been issues with Chelsea as well with the issues with Axel Desari and also Raheem Sterling as well. They're not being they are frozen out the first team squad and so forth as well. And to quite honestly, it's what Enzo Maresca came out yesterday. It's not surprising in the way he came out, very bullish on what he said. He said about, he has to play, he talked about his father working, in 2 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock, so he doesn't see the issue of the situation. But as I said, the PFA are now involved with this of the situation, what's going on at Stamford Bridge with two of the players that Chelsea have and not even coming in as well. So this is what Enzo Maresca did say yesterday, and the courtesy of of BBC as well. Have a listen.
I've been in Raheem's situation and Axel's situation as a player, and for sure I know that it's not the best feeling for a player.
I know, but it's about the human at the centre of this, isn't it? Like their mental health.
Yeah.
I
My father is 75 years old, and for 50 years he has been fisherman, working for 2 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock in the morning. This is hard in life, not a player the way they work. But it's not just Chelsea, it's any club in the world, I can promise you. Italy, Spain, England, France, USA, Brazil, any club in the world. When for any reason the player and the club doesn't find any solution, you give the player all the tools to do training session and to do everything. But if you are not involved in the squad, you are not involved in the squad.
Yeah, interesting what Maresca did say yesterday in his press conference as well. It's like I say, because there's been talks with the PFA about the ongoing exclusion of Sterling Dasiri from Maresca's first team squad. They are trained separately from the team. We have been told that Raheem is probably trained, and the Axel situation, they're probably training late at night after the first team squad. So, like I said, they tried to get try to get rid of Sterling, who's still got 2 years left on his 325,000 a week or per week deal. But Sterling preferred to stay in London close to his family. Arsenal did opt to against signing Loney last season, and for Fulham did sign alternative oppositions where they did look at Raheem Sterling as well. So, as I said, it's surprising how that soon as well. And Chris came, could any result shock you, but he thinks it will be 3-1 to Chelsea. And I went that on the same scoreline as you, Chris, actually, with that same scoreline, to be quite honest. I just think it could any result, but I just think Chelsea will just, despite the disappointment this week as well, and we know that Andrew Garnacho could start, to late on today against his former club as well. They had, that hot. There's going to be a hostile reception for him later on today as well. So, it's not surprising how things, these two managers are pretty much, they have their own stubborn ways in a way a little bit, So I would say at the moment, I just think it's going to be really, really, really interesting game today later on at Old Trafford today as well. I just think deep down, this is going to be, with Amrin just so much under pressure after 30 games he's been managing, it's not a good enough record. And the question is, who does they replace? Who did they replace him with? And as I said, if they had an option to get Thomas Frank, I think it would have been a big difference the way they went. And look what's happened at Spurs at the moment. They've only lost one game since he became manager. So, as I said, and Chris has got a good point. Amri took the job way too early, or was he? He was never the right man in the first place. I think Man United did not, look at the scattergun. Thinking should have they stuck with it with an interim manager until the end of last season. That's something I think they would have thought about, but they decided to go against it, like they did when they took Ralph Rangnick a couple of seasons ago. So I think this is another issue that Jim Ratcliffe and Jason Wilcox and Omar Bereda have got issues to deal with, to deal with completely of where they go from here as well. And this is the problem. If they go for Southgate just for PR, that is going to be a huge doubt as well. So hopefully Reece is back. Yes, at least now stabilized now.
Yes, all good.
So we're just talking about Chelsea's situation, with Enzo Maresca. What did you think of his press conference yesterday when he talked about Raheem Sterling and Axel Desai's exclusion from the first team, and he compared about his father, he's 75 working from 2 in the morning till 10, and also Garnacho coming back to Old Trafford today as well, the kickoff today as well.
I thought his comments were actually really unnecessary. I mean, I get it, he's got a story to tell, but who genuinely cares about why he needs to bring up his dad in the first place? For me, that's actually going to not keep people on side. Like, I actually think that's a way to get someone out of your side, in my opinion. So I feel like he didn't need to say that. He could have literally just said, they don't fit in my plans.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I would have done. Like, I think he should have just said, they're not in my plans. And instead of, we're just going to kick them out of the club, we're actually actively trying to find them a place out of the club. We're actually trying to find them a new place to go. Instead, he brings up the most stupid analogy. I'm going to say it in the nicest way. I don't give a living damn about his dad. I don't care that his dad's a fisherman for X amount of years. I don't care if he fly fishes or he goes sport fishing. I don't care if he catches trout. I don't care if he likes a salmon. Who cares about that crap? End of the day, you're a football manager. If you want to be a fisherman, go buy a boat. The Garnacho's comments, on the other hand, yeah, he's going to return. He's not going to do anything. Let's be real. I mean, it's Garnacho. If it had been someone with a quality finish behind them, I'd be genuinely concerned. But I don't care about Garnacho anymore. Garnacho is going to be like Raheem Sterling. When it comes to playing against a former club like Man United, or a club they support, he will fail every time. And Raheem Sterling has proven that all these years. He's a Man United fan. He still can't score against us. Whereas Garnacho, he won't score against us at all. I don't see anything from him at all. And I used to think the world of this kid. I used to think he would be great for us, but then he chose to be an absolute clown. So as far as I'm concerned, if he gets on that pitch today, I hope someone like Lenny Euro snaps him in half.
Strong words there from Reese. That's not. He doesn't. Reese doesn't. You don't mention words, Reese. That's very
No.
strong words indeed.
The way he misbehaved on his social media with his brother regarding the club, I'll never forgive him for that. And there's people who are like, "Oh, the manager's getting rid of all these players." I'm like, no, the manager clearly sees that Garnacho doesn't care, so he got rid of him. It's plain and simple, and yet people are attacking the manager for it. I'm like, yous are the type of fans. It doesn't matter who the manager is, you'll never be happy.
Yeah.
You could have Pep Guardiola in charge, and they would still find a way to be upset. And I'm like, just give it a rest.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's move on to the Champions League results after this week as well. Look at some of the English, the British.
There was only one good game in my opinion all week.
I have to. That's why I was going to think about Juventus against Dortmund.
It's the only game this week that was actually worth a watch.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about the English club shortly, but Juventus Dortmund 4-4. What a game. And it was 0-0 by half time. And then, like I said, Dortmund took the lead in the 52nd minute, and then Juventus equalise, and then Dortmund run away with the game, winning 3-1, and then 2-1, and then Dusan Vlahovic scored again in the 67th minute, and then it was a runaway game between Dortmund. They had won this game until Vlahovic and Lloyd Kelly, Lloyd Kelly's had a really good week after getting the win against Inter. He gets a draw. He gets the equaliser against Dortmund. What a game!
Yeah. For all the people who mug off the Bundesliga and mug off Serie A, saying that they're not good leagues to watch, find me a Premier League team in Europe that delivered a more exciting match than these two in the last couple of years. You can't. Even further proof you can't do it. The best game of the Champions League last season involved another Italian team, and that was Inter Milan. And that was the semi-final clashes against Barcelona. It's clear as obvious that Serie A and the Bundesliga are back on their feet, and yet people are still blind, thinking, "Oh, because it's not the Premier League, it doesn't matter." No, I'm going to say the truth. Serie A and the Bundesliga are still better than the Premier League. They're still better than the Premier League, and the reason they're better than the Premier League is they're not delivering a product for money. They're delivering a product for the football fan that caters to your enjoyment. That game was plain and simple. That game was an incredible 45 minutes of cancelling each other out. And then the second half was 45 minutes of 8 goals cancelling each other out. You got the best of both. You got the best of defense versus defense. Then you had quality in attack versus deadly attack. And I'll tell you right now, he's already right now the best young number 10 in the world for me. But a certain Mr. Yildiz is going to be a Ballon d'Or winner with Juventus. In my opinion, I honestly think he'll win a Ballon d'Or with Juventus, or if he leaves to another club, he'll win one. He is, alongside Arda Güler, one of the best young attacking midfielders in the world, and I think he's absolutely incredible to watch. There's something about him, like, when I look at Yildiz, like, the only other young player, two young players potentially in the same position that rivals him in terms of sheer quality is Musiala and Florian Wirtz, because they're both number 10s. I'm not bringing in people can go, what about Lamine Yamal? I was like, yeah, he's a winger. Like, I'm purely commenting on number 10s. Like, he's got sheer incredible. I would love to say Amad Diallo in the same conversation, but I don't think that's possible. But I think he's a phenomenal young talent himself. But I think he's more of a winger than a 10.
Yeah.
But in terms of number 10s, they for me are the 3 best young players in that position. And there's something about Yildiz that takes him to that whole stratosphere. And then Guler's probably just outside that bracket for them. They're phenomenal. I think Jude Bellingham still got it, but Jude Bellingham, he seems to be becoming more of a different position than he is, so it's hard to keep him in that number 10 bracket, but he's another incredible player as well that you can just watch and you're like, yeah, there's something about this guy. But Yildiz, he was phenomenal, and Lloyd Kelly as well, he settled into life at Juve. They were going to sell him in the summer
Yeah, they were.
because they were going to sell him because they thought their business, they thought they made the mistake. I'm like, no, 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 you just need to embed him in. And I'll give credit to Tudor because when he took the job at Juventus, he went from Thiago Motta when he was the manager. He was playing a back four. He was playing the 4-2-3-1 because that's what he did at Bologna, and he thought it would work at Juve. He didn't get it to work, even though they were playing decent football. It just wasn't consistent. He then switched to a back three, got him the sack, and then Tudor's been playing a 3-4-2-1 ever since. And then he thought, I cannot put Yildiz out wide because it'll reduce his quality as an attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
So he switched to a 3-4-1-2. And he's playing him as the sole number 10 with two strikers, and he looks perfect. And I'm like, Amarim, there's an example. You can play Cunha and Mbuemo or Mbuemo Sesko up front with Fernandez behind and rotate Cunha. But there's an example of someone who uses the same system as you, but chose for the better of the team. I need to get my best attacking player on his own. I'm going to play one. There's a prime example. Every opportunity you can find, the only way he plays a 3-4-2-1 that works in my mind is if he stops playing heavily creative and he plays a team that plays aggressive pressing and transition, which is funnily enough what Juve did, but they did it with the 1-2
Yeah.
instead of a 2-1, and it was phenomenal. I don't rate the Dortmund manager. Everyone knows that. The Dortmund manager absolutely is awful, but they both coached excellent games. But even though Dortmund were ahead, I never saw anything less than Juve getting back in. They
Yeah.
won't win Serie A this season, but they've had a fantastic start to the season. Brilliant game against Inter Milan, obviously. They've got some hard games coming up as well, but we'll beat them when they play us. Because Allegri always gets the job done. But no, I'm really impressed with Juve, and if they can tie down Yildiz, sky's the limit. And apparently Vlahovic is definitely going next season.
Yeah, I've been hearing that as well too. It's not.
If he goes, I think he ends up in Milan. I think Allegri will make a move to get him on a free agent. If he does, that's a serious play as well. Still got Jimenez, but he needs another striker there.
Yeah.
You add that to Leao, Pulisic, and Kunku, Santi Jimenez. There's 5 attacking players. He still wants to play a 4-3-3 apparently. If he does, the amount of firepower he's got alone is incredible. But yeah, that's what I think anyway about Juve. It's just in general, it's just incredible. Dortmund, phenomenal as well, but they need to get away from being the Bayern darling. They need to go back to being like, no, we want to win things. 'Cause if they had that mentality, they would have won more than just a game against Juventus. They would have actually started winning the league again.
Yeah. And also particularly the Champions League as well, especially when they had that chance to beat Bayern in 2012-13 and then they never did. And then it just seems like they've just gone backwards since, to quite completely as well. So it's a huge worry in that one. Looking at the other results, some big shock results. Union SG beat PSV 3-1. What a result for the debutants, for the Belgian debutants.
Amazing.
That was thumping. I did not expect PSV to collapse like that.
I think you can never count out Union Saint-Gilloise. They've been incredible in the Europa League the past couple of years as well. Consistent level. They beat big teams, and they know how to beat big teams. And I'll be honest, I didn't think PSV was going to get anything against them. I think PSV have not done well for quite some time. I think PSV are in major trouble. This result for me was a non-surprise.
Yeah, no surprise. Well, and also another big shock result. Quaber became the first Azerbaijani side to win the Champions League major after a stunning comeback at Benfica. They were 2-1 down at halftime and then won 3-2, and that was the end of Bruno Lag's helm there. And now they have brought back Jose Mourinho after he's been away for 2 decades. What do you think of Jose going back home to Benfica in his his first managerial job?
I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be very interested to see how he manages. Will he finally change his approach, or will he still be stubborn, defensively organised, and then wait for a counter? Or will he actually go, this is the club that I've always wanted to get back to? Will he finally play dominant football? Will he finally play dominant football and actually go there at Benfica? I think the only sad thing is, though, in terms of the team he's got, there's 3 players that would be doing perfect for him, but they're all out on loan. Florentino's at Burnley. Orkan Kokcu, who's a typical Jose Mourinho box-to-box midfielder / number 10 that you can use. He's at Galatasaray, I think.
Yeah.
And there's another player as well, but I'm like, there's still some good players they've got, and I'm like, Mourinho's got a chance to really play some dominant football with this team instead of playing turgid defensive football, and we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna watch. I still like watching Benfica anyway, but I will be watching for Mourinho. I do like whenever Benfica are on TV. I like to watch the Portuguese league. I like watching Benfica anyway. A lot of people prefer Porto Sporting. I don't. I prefer to watch Benfica. So I will be watching for Mourinho, but I think as well, if he was to win the Portuguese league, because they're only 5 points behind. I think Sporting's top of the league. I think
Yeah,
Sporting's.
sport is yeah, it is actually, yeah.
If he was to win the league, I think he retires on the spot.
Wow.
I think Mourinho wants one last title win, and then he retires. Either he retires as a club manager and he goes for an international job, or there's nothing else recently.
Thank you, Chris. Coco is on loan at Besiktas. That's it. Yeah, it was either.
Yeah, I knew it was one. Besiktas or
Yeah,
Gala. I knew it wasn't Fenerbahce because
and
he didn't sign him.
Yeah, and Porto have won all 6 games, and they are, like I said, they are pretty much in what is behind them on 4 points. Not actually,
Yeah.
no, 5 of 6 actually, where
Yeah.
Benfica are like 8 points away from the top. So
Yeah, but it's manageable. Like it's manageable for Mourinho. But I knew it was either Besiktas or Gala. So thanks for. I knew it definitely wasn't Fenerbahce, but he's a player that if him and Florentino, Mourinho would love to have them in his midfield.
mm,
And I'm hoping when he goes back, when he finally takes over at Benfica, I'll be watching his first game. I hope he plays a back 4. I do not want to see Mourinho playing a back 3. I want to see him going back to the back 4. And I'm actually really excited to watch him play against Chelsea. I'm
yes.
really eager to see how he fares as against them in the Champions League. It wouldn't surprise me though. Like no disrespect to Chelsea, I think Chelsea are a very strong side. It wouldn't surprise me if Mourinho got one over them though. And I
Yeah,
still think, and it shows as well that Mourinho is the master of football. Everyone else plays checkers and he's playing chess because that man literally, as a Fenerbahce manager, lost a Champions League qualifier to Benfica. They're sitting in the Europa League, and now Benfica's got the manager that they knocked, that they prevented from getting the Champions League as their new manager. I think it's absolutely genius. Like that man, he could have went to any former club. I think he chose redemption for Benfica, but he could have had a Man United redemption. But apparently, as well, the Benfica presidential elections,
that's a big one. Yeah,
which are coming up. That's the reason he lost his job anyway, 25 years ago. The Benfica presidential elections, they were debating between Amorim and Mourinho. But Rui Costa, who I think is going to lose the election anyway, he went for Mourinho. But one of the presidential candidates actually is a Mourinho fan. So I think he'll retain him, and he'll do anything at all costs to back him.
Yeah, that presentation is going to be very interesting. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
I hope he goes back to the back four and plays a back four. I don't want to see Mourinho playing a back three at Benfica. There's nothing there for him, but at least he finally gets to do some football heritage. He finally gets to manage Otamendi.
yes. Yeah, that is true as well. That is so true. Looking at other results, the holders PSG thumped Atalanta 4-0. It not a
Mullered
surprise.
them, yeah. No surprise. I mean, Vitinha and Neves midfield is the best midfield combo with any midfielder beside them. It doesn't really matter who plays beside them. Whenever those two play, is game over. And I'm just trying to hurry up and unlock the transfer market so I can get both of my FC team. Well,
Yeah.
it's either them or Mbuemo. I can't decide. Unfortunately, when you pack Saka untradeable, you've got to play him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford. He scored 2 goals for
Please don't.
Barcelona
Please let's
against
not.
Newcastle.
Let's
I
not.
know you don't want to talk about it,
I
but
don't. I don't want to talk about him. He's a twat. But no, I'll talk about him. I'll be fair.
be fair, right? You did expect, Newcastle had a really good, decent start against Barcelona. They were in it, and then in the second half they just struggled. And then Rashford, is he more because he's more playing up front than playing on the wings? And did you think, Hansi Flick got that spot on? Especially the second goal. That second goal was just thumping.
It was a brilliant goal. Weird the way he comes in at that angle as well. Top corner on a cross position, like a cross, like diagonal position, is really impressive. My problem with Rashford is I've never once disputed Rashford's got quality, but for somebody who's in the top 10 Man United goal scorers of all time, he didn't like there was times where he also could have done more but didn't. And I know he got a lot of online social media abuse and that's ridiculous, but the guy was literally, I only want to play left wing, and I'm like, mate, you could have been the perfect centre forward for Man United. He like hold up play, he can do it. Finishing, he can do it. Running behind, he can do it. And he's like, no, I just want to play off the left and cut. And I'm like, mate, you could have been so much better. And it's annoying because everybody knows, and when it comes to world football, there's only 2 managers I would have in Man United in a heartbeat. One of them is Julian Nagelsmann, and the other is Hansi Flick. And Hansi Flick got him playing as a striker, and what does he do? He scores twice against Newcastle. And I'm like, you see, Rashford, you stupid donkey? Like, this is my point. Like, but here's the thing. He can score 2 goals. He could score 15, 20. But I agree, he's only playing for that. I think he will outlast. I think if Amorim gets sacked, I think Rashford will return to Man United, and whoever gets him will bring him in. But he needs to accept that he can drop off in a fluid front three. He can play as a central striker, but he can drop off and switch in and go on the left, and someone else can play through the middle. But he's got the potential to be a genuinely good striker, to an excellent striker. It's so right there, and I'm like, mate, just play it. Like, I think Rashford and Sesko at Man United compete against each other for the number 9 position would be far better. And now he's playing at Barcelona where he's got so much competition for the wings and the centre forward position where he can make it so, and especially in that Hansi Flick high pressing style that he play, they love to dominate the ball, but they love to play so direct and aggressive, and they love to turn teams over with the amount of chances they create. They love to put so much pressure by pressing so high, and I'm like, this is a sort of style that Man United would enjoy. Rashford would benefit, and he would be his starting man. And I'm like, mate, this is why I've clamoured for a German manager in Man United for so long. I've always wanted a German manager at United on a full-time basis, and it's only one of those two anyway. But that's what I like about Barcelona. Like, I don't like watching Barcelona play tiki-taka football. I prefer Enrique's Barca to Pep's Barca.
Yeah.
And I prefer Valverde's Barca to Pep's Barca, but I love Flick's Barca than all of them combined. because that's the type of football I like. It's just he doesn't at Barcelona. He just rotates his team, but he doesn't tinker the positions. It's the same position. The same system. Players are just rotated round. When he was a Germany manager, he just kept tinkering his system, and it buggered me off. But I never once stopped wanting him as the Miami manager. That's why I really like Hansi Flick. And it's the same with Nagelsmann. They play the football I like, but Barcelona, they looked excellent in the second half.
Yeah, they did. Do you think Eddie Howe made a mistake on not playing Nick Matt Voltemate in the starting 11? He put Anthony Gordon up front instead. Were you a bit surprised about that? Not playing your club record side in, he put Gordon instead, and he looked him on the second half. And didn't make it. Was that a bit concerning that he should have started your record side striker against a team like Barcelona?
I agree with Chris as well about Rashford and Martinelli about better as number 9s. I do agree. And yeah, Galatasaray, I mean, Leroy Sané has been excellent for them. But yes, I agree. I'm surprised they didn't play Voltmad. I wonder, because he had such a high in the league game, they thought maybe would the confidence be there to get another goal, or would he struggle against Barcelona's defence? And maybe because Gordon is slightly faster, if they can play him behind, will it work? And to an extent, it did. But I think they needed a ready-made number 9. They signed Voltmad for 70 plus million pounds. He should have started. Anthony Gordon on the left wing would have benefited from that, because then he could actually cross the ball in. But can someone please tell Anthony Gordon that he will never once look like or be David Beckham as a football player, and stop wearing the headband? Only certain players with good charisma can wear a headband, and Anthony Gordon cannot pull off. If he wants a mullet, wear a mullet. But with a headband, mate, you don't suit it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's some
He's proved me wrong though as a player. I always thought I did like him at Everton, but their fan base overrated him so badly.
Yeah.
But he has become an even better player at Newcastle, and Voltmad is 100% now fully cemented as the Germany number 9, because of his start quickly. I genuinely think Voltmad is going to be that guy. He's incredible. I love Voltmad, and I'm glad he turned down the Bayern. I'm glad he turned down Bayern as well.
Yeah.
But he's another one I would have had at my head as well. He's a phenomenal striker. I've always liked Voltmad anyway from the youth team. I watched him in the youth side, so that's how as I watched the Germany under 21s, and
The Euros, yeah. When he
yeah,
looked
and
really good, actually, I really liked. Yeah, I did watch him a bit of him. Yeah, I thought he looked like he was going to become a bigger player for one of the big clubs in the future.
and obviously beside him is another player everybody knows. Everybody knows there was one other player beside him at Stuttgart that everybody knows I'm absolutely obsessed with, and that's Angelo Stiller.
Yeah,
those two are right there. It's incredible, but he's in the right team as well, and it's crazy enough now that I think if Eddie Howe hadn't been the Newcastle manager and United had pounced on him, I think he would have brought Voltmad to Man United as well. It's crazy. Obviously, I want a German manager, but if we end up going for an English manager, there's only one English manager I'm bringing in, that's Eddie Howe. I do not want to see Gareth Southgate get the job.
Well, yeah, I know Chris mentioned that early on. It would be a PR stunt completely with that.
Oh, it would be a travesty.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Look at all the results. Arsenal, 2 late goals. They got 2 goals in the second half, which I'm not going to talk as much, but it just, I would have said Athletic had a good chance to try to get something out of that game.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know when the writing's eventually going to be on the wall for Valverde, because I think he's an excellent manager. I feel like maybe Bilbao are going to soon need a new approach. I think he's taken them so well, and I think he deserves to move on and get another crack at another job at a team that will win a league. He can win a cup with Bilbao, but the way they played against Arsenal, I think it shows that the writing's on the wall, and he needs a new challenge.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
Arsenal proved again why they're such a fluky team. like they weren't great against Bilbao, but they can still get goals. But they need more than luck to win a football match. But they seem to just be relying on luck at the minute.
Yeah, they are very right on look at the moment. Bayern Munich beat Chelsea 3-1, and it was error-prone Chelsea as well. Harry Kane just battered them completely. And Michael Leese also scored as well.
He's
No, not
a
Elise
beautiful
scored.
player.
Travelers alone goal, but Harry Kane scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
But Elise was just shy again. And was Chelsea too naive the way with the defensive mistake that led to their goals?
Yeah, they were. I mean, if you just look at the channels that are being played, yeah, Nico Williams is injured. That's what I'm saying. Like they rely on him too much, and I think he's going to end up getting sold. I think he'll end up getting sold next summer.
Yeah,
What I'm saying by Elise though is like he fits Bayern so well, and so does Luis Diaz.
yeah,
Like they complement each other as well. You've got the attacker, well, the attacking winger, like the inside forward. Then you've got the playmaker in Elise who can still get goals, and you're like, Bayern have found their next best wing combination. It's just can they supplement it, and getting Jonathan Tah as well at centre back has massively helped them as well. He's a brilliant defender. I don't know I don't know like where how far Bayern are going to go. I think Bayern are one of the favourites to win the Champions League. I think Barcelona are the outstanding favourites, PSG as well, but I think Bayern are in there. Napoli potentially dark horses, despite not having a good result against City, but they actually played okay in my opinion. Just unlucky to lose 2-0. But I think that's like your 3 top favourites. Liverpool as well up there as well, annoyingly, but I have to be honest. And depending on how their second half of the season goes, City will be a favourite. But
yeah,
like I do like I think Bayern under Company really suits well. They've got a good side. They've got some really good players as well, like Pavlovic, like Limer's still effective there. Goretzka's finding his feet. Kimmich at right back is slotted in. He's much better right back than he is in midfield, even though I think he's a fantastic holding midfielder. I think he's a brilliant fullback that can tuck in and play. He's like he is Philip Lahm version 2. Like he can do it all, but he just looks it better. But Harry Kane, I've never once been a fan of Harry Kane, but I've always respected his ability to finish or create.
yeah.
And he genuinely he fits Bayern like a glove.
Yeah, he certainly does. Well, looking at it, let's just go through quickly over selected results. Monaco had a really tough week, especially with their flight. They had no air conditioning. They lost 4-1 to Club Bruges. Frankfurt thumped Galatasaray 5-1
They did.
on Thursday night. Sporting, could have nearly were 1-0 down. 1-0, that's correct. The Kazakhstan side, they won 4-1 as well. Just looking at over results. Liverpool, they were 2-0 up by half time, and then Atletico Madrid came back to 2-2, and then they got the late winner from Van Dijk, which resulted on Diego Simeone getting sent off as well.
Should have. I feel bad for Diego Simeone. I know he's a shithouse and all that, but they were denied. Actually, they were denied a very important decision as well. I'm going to be very honest, and I think Chris is going to disagree. I know Doug disagrees with me, but I think Liverpool are a strong side, but just like Arsenal, they're far too lucky. You cannot keep relying on. You cannot just keep relying on late winners to win matches. They need to start killing games. They are not killing games off, and against any other team who would absolutely finish them off, they would. Like if this had been PSG, for example, or if this had been Alonso's Real Madrid, which is coming up for them, I believe, very soon.
Yeah,
The difference is, unlike Atletico, who are having a weird transitional period, despite having a good team under Simeone, the difference is even Bayern Munich, for example, or Barcelona, either one of those teams, if they were to play this Liverpool team right now, the chances that Atletico Madrid miss, Harry Kane scores what 4 or 5 of those, Mbappe will get 4 or 5 of those. Vinicius Junior, hot and cold, but he will get at least 1 or 2. Like Barcelona, you've got like Lewandowski, Yamal, Rafinha. They kill them off. Liverpool, for me, they've got some fantastic players. I'll never dispute that. They've got a brilliant system under Arne Slot. But when they don't kill games off and they rely on 88 to 97th to 105th minute winners, you can't tell me that they are a genuinely top side all the time.
Yeah.
And that's not me saying they're an awful team because I don't like them. I'm a Man United fan. I'm using my bias. No. It's respect for the rivalry, and that's the difference. Like they honestly need to kill off games, and if they don't do it sooner, it's going to haunt them and it's going to bite them in the ass, because that's the difference between being a champion
Yeah.
and staying the champion.
Yes, certainly it is. It is. That is a huge difference with that one. Other results as well. Real Madrid winning 2-1 against Marseille, with Trent Alexander-Arnold is now injured. He's injured with hamstring after 3 minutes, and then Danny Carvajal was sent off with 18 minutes left after he left.
Yeah.
And Tottenham fortunately getting a win against Villarreal after own goal from Luis Junior as well. Just see what was the other games.
Big win for Thomas Frank. His first ever win in the Champions League. I think
It
that's
is, yeah.
at the first attempt was brilliant. Fair play for Thomas Frank, and yeah, Trent Alexander-Arnold like injured there, Carvajal sent off, but Madrid are still a strong side anyway. I'm just annoyed that nobody tried to snap. Redacted, and I completely forgot that Matt O'Reilly went to them. I'm like, why would you go to them?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I know.
Not the scum club, but I do like Real Madrid's team. They're dynamic, and Alonso's slotted in so easily.
Yeah.
To them.
Yes. Yeah, he has as well. Runners up last season, Inter Milan win 2-0 at Ajax. Bodo Glimt getting a draw at Slavia Prague, which did and Paphos. They got, despite they went out to 10 men, they got a really good draw against Olympiacos as well. After Bruce Felipe was second bookable offense as well. Who see the other results? That's we not mentioned. Yeah, Leverkusen were got a late equalizer after the drawing 2-2 at Copenhagen, which is which they could have lost as well.
Yep.
As well, and Frankfurt thumping Galatasaray 5-1, and Man City beating Napoli 2-0 after Napoli went out to 10 men. And unfortunately, Kevin De Bruyne had to go off because of the tactical decision after the Napoli went out to 10 men. So, Expected with the first week of the Champions League, you look at the table. Eintracht Frankfurt at the top of the table, with PSG behind them. Club Brugge, Sporting Lisbon, US Union SG, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, and Inter make the top 8. Man City, Quabba, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Spurs, and Borussia Dortmund make up the top the rest of the playoff spot, with Juventus, Bayer Leverkusen, Bodo Glimt, Copenhagen, and Atletico Madrid in there. But at the bottom of the table, we see the two English clubs between Newcastle and Chelsea, with Napoli down there as well, with Monaco, Galatasaray, Atalanta, with the big thumping goals they had those this past week as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, crazy phase. And it's weird as well in terms of like the entire league phase, that two teams that are not in this competition that have got phenomenal legacy in terms of European competitions. There's no AC Milan, there's no Man United in this competition. I think it's absolutely astounding. Like that's the nature of football, when two of the most successful clubs in terms of European football history, they're not in it. But the tournament itself. I was not sure about the new league phase. I absolutely love it. I think it's actually refreshing that we have this phase. It's so much better, but the whole reality of it, it's strength. Like,
yeah, oh yeah, very much is.
That's how it should be, Chris. That's how it should be.
Yeah. All right, just looking up here as well. Actually, I just see the EFL stuff this week, because it's not a good week for Ange Postecoglou. They were lost at Swansea 3-2. They were 2-0 up by half time, and then just the 7 minutes, the 7 minutes added on extra time, and whatever, they conceded 2 late goals. And do you just see them now? See Forest really declining now completely.
I don't know. I like Ange Postecoglou. I like his football, but like one thing we know is he loves that high pressing style that he likes with the possession. He loves to play a very, very high line. He's already brought it into Forest. The problem is he doesn't have quick centre backs, and his fullbacks aren't particularly quick either. I feel like if he wants to make this work at Forest, he needs to do a defensive overhaul like in January.
Yeah, there was something
No
about
idea how they're going to fare, but yeah.
there's image of I did see something about that when it was only two Forest defenders. The fact
They
how did
turned them. It was that incredible high line. Like it demands so much out of you that it was 5 versus 2. At that point, there was no chance.
yeah
He needs to get pace into that defense. If he can do that, they'll do much better. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching Morgan Gibbs White play under him. I'm a big fan of Morgan Gibbs White, and I do like Milinkovic. So he's another good centre back he's got, but he's going to need a core that's genuinely quick to make this work.
yeah
I'm eager to find out, but the annoying thing is, though, is they should never have got rid of Nuno, even though I'm not a particular fan of his. But yeah,
mm, yeah absolutely as well. Grimsby had a shock, did another upset after beat Sheffield Wednesday 1-0 at Hillsborough.
yep.
Villa Brentford won 4-2 penalties after a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa, and also Chris Paz did win 4-2 on penalties against Millwall after a 1-1 draw after the full time whistle. So
Glasner, Jesus, what a manager!
yeah, I know, absolute man as well, and that leads on to the games this week. I did mention earlier this week the big game in the Carabao Cup as well. Port Vale at home to Arsenal Wednesday night. Doncaster go away to Spurs, while Newcastle at home to Bradford. Also against Man City on the Wednesday, and then it's linking against Chelsea on Tuesday night, and then Liverpool against Southampton on Tuesday night as well. So and Cambridge go away to Fulham as well. Yeah, so some interesting games coming up as well. Actually, there's one thing I want to talk about, and I'm meaning about West Ham. There's been a lot of rumors going on about Graham Potter. If he doesn't win against Palace today, they look at to bring back Southern Village back
Saw that.
what is your take on that? And do you see that happening because of where the club is at the moment? In a bad situation, and especially they have brought back managers like David Moyes back in the past on multiple spells. This is now doing it again with if they bring Village back. What's your take on this?
I think if Potter gets sacked, I don't rate Potter as a manager anyway. I've been consistent on that for a long time, ever since I've known you. I don't rate Graham Potter as a manager. If West Ham sack him, and I like Slaven Bilic, I like his honesty. I like the way he sets up a football team, but it's not effective enough. And I look at this West Ham team, and honestly, I would go straight for Nuno, even though I wasn't sure about him. Like, there's times where I don't like watching his football, but he knows how to get a team playing solid defensively, and they can play aggressively to win a game. I think West Ham should go for Nuno than anything else. I think when you look at the team, it'd be insane to watch, say, a Jared Bowen play under Nuno, for example, or I was going to say Kudus, but he's a West Ham, but like even like Paqueta under him would be insane. Somerville under him would be insane.
Mm,
He would get the most out of Fulkrug as a potent number 9 as well. That would maybe redeem his international career as well. So
because West Ham have had not good experience of buying strikers. They've always been struggling, and I don't know
yes,
why it's been that issue for probably a decade now, at least
has
over.
been for a long time. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I would do. But that's what I think. If they do get Bilic in, I think it's a risk. I think they should go for Nuno. Weirdly enough, my dad thinks if Amorim gets sacked, that's where Man United go next. Funnily enough, he thinks they should get Nuno.
mm,
I do think he's a fantastic player, though. It makes sense, but yeah, I agree. The owners is another thing. If they back him, though, you never know. Moyes was a solid shout, but like Nuno could potentially still do the same thing. Nuno
yeah,
could potentially win a trophy with them if he gets in a competition where he could feasibly win something. I think he could potentially do it, but it's rare for them to win a trophy anyway, but I think he would do really well for them. I think he would. Another manager I think is under fire, even though it's not really his fault, but they practically sold his entire best attacking options, and I'm a massive fan of Ramsey and Morgan Rogers. Unai Emery's in massive trouble at Villa. I'll be surprised if he lasts as well, because they again Morgan Rogers, phenomenal player. Jacob Ramsey, incredible player. Diaby gone the last couple of years. Watkins is hanging on by a thread. Duran gone. Um, Bailey is not delivered for quite some time.
No.
I think they're in massive trouble. And I think Villa, don't know how long Emery lasts, but he doesn't deserve to be sacked, but I think he will get sacked.
Yeah, there's a bit of a worry with that one as well. I was reading yesterday that Rafa Benitez he spoke to the Daily Telegraph this past week. He said he wants to coach in England again.
Oh
Can I
God Almighty!
can listen? I hate to say this because after I spoke about Leeds on Monday, I feel sorry for Fab because he did not get the players that he wanted on the drivers deadline day. And it's the clinical. It's the I worry about our attacking with our being clinical finishing. Just if so, and I wouldn't blame Fab because this is not his fault because he said to the club we need players in. And what do? You let Ramazani go to who's doing quite okay, decently at Valencia, where he could have been a difference maker. And just now, could you see someone like Rafa at Ellen Road if example if West Ham do go for Nuno and all that stuff, because Leeds are in a bit of a dilemma if they can't sort out the finishing ahead of today's game against Wolves, who Victor Pereira weirdly signed a new contract and Strand Larsen signed a new contract no matter the last couple of days. Why has Wolves given a contract extension to a manager who's had a bit of a poor start, who's not won a game, and also to a player who wanted to leave, in as well. So
Maximizing any potential profit, I think, in terms of Strand Larsen. I don't think he's that good anyway. I think he's hot and cold. In terms of Vitor Pereira, I think they really must back him. They must really believe in him. I don't know, but they don't have a lot of good players left. If they lose João Gomez, for example, they're screwed. Rafa Benitez to Leeds. Long story short, Daniel Farke is a stripper, but I think going after Benitez again, when you say you're struggling with finishing, then you go to Rafa Benitez, who solely relies on defense. You
yeah,
can't survive just on defense alone. You're
no,
going to need better than that. No, if you go for Rafa Benitez, you can already put yourself on the relegation list.
I know. I'd rather have Nuno instead of him. But if that's the worst case scenario, if we don't get Nuno, if I could is out of a job in a few weeks time, if results
Well,
don't.
he's definitely out of a job anyway. I don't know where you go from there though, but
No,
it would be an absolutely ridiculous idea if you take Rafa Benitez, especially now where his football doesn't work. I
it
think
doesn't work anymore. I know, but it's just that suggested. It's just that I'm thinking if Leeds went down that road, I just question it so much. I'm just like, I'm just saying that Nate, that will be it.
go
Will
for.
be.
I mean, you're owned by Red Bull. I'm surprised you don't go for someone like.
We're technically not owned by Red
Well,
Bull. They
strongly
have a
owned
stake.
by
Yeah.
strongly owned by them. They've got influence. I'm surprised you haven't gone for someone like a Ralph Hasenhüttl, for example.
Yeah, well, that is and not that name's been quiet for a long time actually since you just said that. So
And
yeah,
Ramazan at your club really angers me because obviously he's one of our youth graduates, so it really angers me. But he's an excellent winger.
well, I do forgot that how was sacked by Wolfsburg. So I do know that he's been at job since May. It could,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot of good managers out on the free agent list, like Kiki Sanchez as well. He's another one on the free agent list.
I know. I need to look at that. I need to look at that. I have to look at the free agent manager, see who.
Joachim Low is still a free agent.
And I thought he retired.
Nah, he's still in it. He's still in the game, and I'm like, any top club took him in charge. Both Joachim Low as any manager, any club would be seriously good to watch. Even though he betrayed me at Euro 2021, he still plays great football. I wouldn't mind him on an interim basis and potentially full-time job, to be honest.
Yeah, well,
Quality manager, just
yeah,
don't pick your beak.
I know. No, I have to. Yeah, let's see what happens with today's
Aye,
game.
yeah. I think Hasenhüttl makes more sense for you anyway. I think that would be a perfect replacement for Farka.
We'll see. We'll see. It's just at the moment. I think the way we should. I don't know how we didn't finish that game at Greater College. The way good, and even I feel sorry for Goodmanson because he thought Roder was going to deal that header. He didn't expect the ball was going to hit his face, and he just went into went in. So, and then also because there's no Lucas Perry because he's out injury against us. Dallo deputizing again. But like with against Wolves, I see this as a goal scoring fest. That always happens with us. So
yeah,
I'm looking at the managers right now who is available. I would not take Southgate. I would not take Southgate out on the road. Nope.
Do you know?
Xavi,
I don't rate Southgate, but it's weird as well that he would at least get you organised, but he plays the same sort of system, but that would be a risk as well. It would be a
I know.
massive risk.
Yeah, look at it. So Southgate, Xavi, Xavi's way out of our budget. Forget that one.
Yep, instant no.
Marco Rose, yeah.
He would be a decent shout.
Yeah, it would be actually, especially from the Red Bull link as well. Nuno's on there. No, fuck Ten Hag. I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't touch him at all.
Absolutely.
Somehow Big Sam's he's not retired. He's still on that bloody list.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, there's a lot with Leeds need to decide on oh my god.
Joys, eh?
It's the joys. I know it is. I'm just gonna look at the managers who've been out of jobs since 2025. That's all we'll look at. But yeah, who's probably the one I would say. Yeah, I just it's
Jorge Sampioli's still out of a job, I think.
Yeah, he is. He's still out of a job as well. I just seen that as well. But
he's another one. He's incredible football. The only way it didn't work at Sevilla is because Sevilla are dead.
Yeah, Sevilla's dead already. Yeah, completely. I'm just seeing not Bruno Lage. Yeah, no, forget that.
He was unlucky at Benfica, but I think he would be all right for you.
He did okay at Wolves for a bit, but yeah. Just see who else is on that list as well. Just
I'm sure Kike Flores Sanchez is on that list. I'm sure he's still out of a job.
Yeah, he's technically is actually.
Sean Dyche is still without a job.
Oh, forget no! I don't want no Blue Wolf, no Brexit football at that club. No, I want to choose that. I'll have to go for this manager. Let's just pick who.
Gerrard's still without a job as well.
I'm just surprised he still have a job when he could. He thought he was going to go back to Rangers, and look what happened there. And you did not take a Russell Martin, but
don't even remind me.
How you think you're going to the game today against Hibs in the League Cup?
Losing.
Doug, hell no! Don't even tempt me with that one.
Oh, I would be happy with that.
Fuck off.
I mean, since Scousers don't declare themselves English, Steve Clarke can get sacked and Gerrard maybe take the Scotland job.
Yeah.
I don't want that, obviously, but it would be funny because Scousers don't call themselves English, so it would be genuine. It would be genuinely funny. But yeah, Steve Clarke for Leeds, yeah, that would be magic.
Look at his face.
I'd be well up for that. I would watch every single one of your games, playing like systems that don't work, 6 defenders. You play back 4 attacking systems in pre-season. You go to the main game and you play a 5-2-3 or whatever, and be absolutely shite in bottle games.
Oh no,
that'd be your season.
No.
You tempt like going out in the town with a model. You tempt your fans with a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 that plays attacking football.
God.
Then you get to the main season, you play a back 5 that doesn't actually play attacking football like any other country that play attacking football. You'll be defensive and you'll go, it's all for one and one for the Wolves of getting Leeds in. And then you just slap about and you go, guys, we've got the plan, we've got the privilege. We're going to play solid football It's gonna work because this is Steve Clark, and it makes sense.
Shush.
And then I'll get to the next preseason, and Steve Clark
If you say one more word, right, you're done. You know that. If you say one more word, you're done. You better think carefully what you're going to say. What is coming out of your mouth.
Of course, I will. I will exactly know what I'm going to say. Then he'll play the 4-6-0, and then you'll cry.
Oh my god! Oh god! Give me strength.
I fucking broke him. Then he'll play a 3-6-1. You'll play all of that. Then you'll sign a striker, and then you'll play him on the bench, and you'll say we need to play a midfielder as a striker instead. And then all your top players won't even get put in the squad; they'll be on the reserve team. It'd be absolutely shits and giggles. So yes, Steve Clark for Leeds.
You are despicable. You know that.
Will Stelzner's going to say that Steve Clark's going to get the Leeds job.
Oh my god! I am just
broken.
Yeah, I'm broken now. I'm way broken. I think
Doug, you need to clip this entire segment and put it in the group chat of just me pitching Steve Clark to Leeds.
Oh
We've just killed Carl for next to nothing. Cheaper than a Subway lunch.
This is why I'm not going to be on tomorrow night doing the championship review, because I'm going to just take my mind off and just get out. Yeah. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Right. Yeah. Okay. Kiki Sanchez is still available.
I thought so.
Yeah. Would it take Van Nistelrooy? Would it take Lucien 585?
Oh, he's horrible.
Yeah, I know. Jurgen Klinsmann would touch, not with his record. He can't do well. So. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, that just killed. I've lost the plot now. So, on that bombshell, it's time to end the bloody show. I need some breakfast, man. Stop with it. You show point off, you little shit. Oh my god, yeah. See, don't get too cocky, right? That's all I say.
If he does get the job, though, all I'm gonna say is,
shut up. Oh my god. Oh, we're gonna finish the show here, guys. That's me done. I need some breakfast. I need to.
Steve Clark for Leeds.
Shut up. That is it of the show. Like I said, I won't be on tomorrow night. It'll be Michael and Annie because I have got to go. I'm out tomorrow night anyway, but they'll be here at 8 p.m. to do the championship review. While I'll be back here on Monday, depending on what time Doug starts with the 20 podcast, probably. But I will be back a little bit late because I've got a protest I got to go to the Scottish Parliament with about rent controls with my living rent group. So I've got a big and then I'll be back in that. But I'll be back here next Saturday. I don't know about Reese yet. I'm still debating about that one now. I was looking about that one.
Even better if Doug is clipping this, you're done. Like, you're doomed if Doug clipped this.
Oh my god, I'm done, aren't I? My god. I'm done. If Fitz is in the shit, I'm boycotting next Saturday just for the sake of it. Like, someone can run this show. Not I'm done. I don't care if it's Doug doing it while doing his 5K run or going out with Nathan out. He can really do the show without me because I just Oh
if you at home are a Leeds fan and you too are suffering with Daniel Farke, call the following number. It's 0800 Steve Clark for your job.
I'm just gonna say goodbye, folks, and that is us done for the week. That is us done for another edition of this show. I'm done. See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Oh my god.